Good morning, Big Brother fans. It's Thursday, September 12th, and I did not record a CarCast podcast last night because there just wasn't much to talk about. Not a whole lot has gone on, in my opinion. Granted, that's a very biased opinion in some ways, but my opinion, when I just boil it down to what's going to happen in the game, not a whole lot has gone on. It's very much, in my opinion, I keep saying that because I could be wrong, but very much looks like Quinn's walking out the door. I've had glimmers of thoughts that it might lean towards chemo, but then it quickly snaps back to reality, and it doesn't seem possible. It's going to take 4 votes to evict, or a 3-3 tie, and I don't see Chelsea keeping Quinn, so it's got to be Quinn's got to get 4 votes, and I just cannot see him getting 4 votes. He's got Takor, Rubina, and they're not going to vote out chemo. Cam, who technically is on the quote other side of the house, doesn't want to keep Quinn, so that's 3 right there. And Chelsea has said that it would just be better for him to keep. It would be better for her to keep chemo, or to get rid of. That's her opinion. She seems to feel like the house, or the diary room, is making her explain her reasoning, and she doesn't understand why. Because it's like, why? This is why. Why don't you think that's a good enough reason? Kind of. I'm putting words in her mouth, but that's the sense I'm getting, is that the diary room is having her explain her position so much that she feels like they don't understand why she's doing it, if that makes sense. And the question is, why isn't she breaking up this known trio? Everybody in the house knows that Rubina, Takor, and Chemo at this point are a solid trio. Now, remember, Chelsea's got her own little thing working here too. That's kind of bridges the alliances. That if you look at the house has been kind of drawn up. Dolfica's alliance map has Takor, Rubina, and Chemo in an alliance, and Chelsea, Mackenzie, and Cam in an alliance. But to me, we've got Chelsea saying she's never going to put up Takor, so that bridges that. And also, we've seen Chelsea, Takor, and Cam at various times during the game hanging out and talking as if they're in kind of an unofficial alliance kind of a thing. So there's this, there's even though people see Takor as part of an alliance with Chemo and Rubina, I think both Cam and Chelsea feel like they have a relationship with Takor that kind of breaks that alliance up a little bit. Whether they do or not is another question. And Takor, again, there's 2 people that have not been nominated yet. It's Leah and Takor. And I saw that Takor hopes to be the last person ever nominated. She that's a goal. I don't know. I still feel in some ways that Takor is not playing the game as much as she's just playing relationship management, and nobody's putting her up. But this house has been known to be pretty cutthroat, and I could see it sooner or later just going like, well, sorry, Takor, now's your time. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to figure out what's going to happen here as far as that goes. Yeah, so there's that. Takor may decide to start playing the game or playing competition. She's not a bad competitor in some ways, but we'll see what happens. Tonight's an eviction, by the way. I do think that Quinn is going to get evicted. I believe it's going to be... I still think it may be 6-0. The Leah vote is the only question. Is Leah going to cast a vote against Quinn? But there's just no reason for her to not. It's not going to get her any brownie points with Quinn. of all the people that are left in the house, I think Quinn actually would respect her not voting for him to stay. Of all the remaining house guests, I think she'd actually respect him if he voted her, if she voted him out to save her game. He'd quote forgive her. Does that make sense? Sure. What else? I mean, just not. There's maneuvering going on, but again, I watched last night and I was hopeful. I watched Mackenzie and Chelsea talking, not in the head of household room. They were downstairs in one of the back bedrooms talking, and they were considering, the reasons to vote to evict Chemo. But in the end, it was almost like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're getting rid of Quinn. But they would talk about some of the reasons why maybe they should get rid of Chemo, or why keeping Quinn would be a good idea. Quinn's better for their game. Quinn is definitely, Chemo is not good for them as far as he's not close to either of them. It doesn't make sense. He's a number for Rubina and for Takor, but that's not how they're thinking. They just feel that Quinn is too good of a competitor. They're willing to take they're willing to throw away a vote because they think they can beat Chemo. But Chemo's one person, and yeah, anyways, you know what I'm saying. I think you guys agree with me. And until I hear differently, I'm assuming every one of you agrees with me. All right, so that's what's going on. It's been kind of a locked-in week, right? Locked in a couple of days. We haven't had major swings. We haven't had a lot to talk about. They've done a lot of shows. They've done a lot of talent shows and a lot of play acting and a lot of just goofing around and stuff that I just don't care about. I tweeted last night. I said, okay, Chemo's singing now. I'm not recording this. I'm not doing this. If you guys want to do this, you need to figure out the account to watch, because I'm just done. Unless something extraordinary happens, some extraordinary development show happens, I'm not doing this stuff. I'm like, okay, I've seen enough. So that's where we're at. It's just like not a whole lot going on to report on. You got to watch an awful lot. There's not much meat on the bone at the moment. And so I'm kind of waiting for things to change to talk about it more. And that's it. That's what I got to say. Yeah. So that's what's going on a personal note. Yeah, no, not even on a personal note. I was going to go way down a different rabbit hole talking about other things, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spare you that. I'm going to call this one early today. And again, this is exactly why I did not record one last night, because I had almost nothing to say. Should have a lot to talk about. We can't talk about, okay, I shouldn't say that. I'll talk about it a little bit more. I'll talk about last night's episode. That's something I can go over. So I did watch last night's episode. They managed to stretch the power veto they managed to drag it out, considering it was a one round eviction. As those of you that follow me on Twitter now know, I forgot. I think I knew it, but I forgot. Do you guys know what a trash panda is? Those of you that now know, when I say trash panda, you know. Okay? I'm watching this show last night, and the Otev thing, right, is usually a big creature or being of some kind that talks to the house guests. Okay? This was a raccoon. It was a raccoon with a baseball hat on backwards who talked in a New Jersey kind of an accent, or some kind of a New York accent. And he said he was a panda. He said he was the trash panda. I don't know. I just thought, that's a raccoon. And I tweeted about it, and I was quickly corrected by a few people that everyone knows I didn't say this. Nobody actually was very condescending, but I still got a bit defensive. Everyone knows a trash panda is a raccoon is called a trash panda. And I thought, I didn't know that. They never addressed it on the show. They never had, one of the house guests say, as we all know, a raccoon has been called a trash panda. No, but it was a raccoon called a panda. All I can think is that's not a panda. That's a raccoon. Okay. So, I thought to myself, why does everyone think that? Why would, I don't know. I just thought, has people not seen raccoons? Do they really think that raccoons and pandas look alike? Because they don't look anything alike. But I Googled it after I got corrected, and I found a New York Times article that was talking about how back in 2014 on Reddit, okay, so Reddit is a bulletin board, almost an old-fashioned bulletin board. I mean, it's more than that, but it's a place where people go to discuss things, much like old message boards. And someone, they even gave his username, commented on a picture of a raccoon. It was like a raccoon in a suit or something, and called the raccoon a trash panda, and that caught on in 2014. And by a year later, the term was almost part of everyone's almost, not mine. It was used a lot out there, I guess, to call raccoons trash pandas. Now, that may not have been the person who wrote it on Reddit, may not have been the person to come up with the phrase, probably wasn't, but that's where they were able to track it back to. So all I know is that, I'm sorry, the kids' lingos nowadays, I'm not up on things that started in 2014. You've got to go back to at least the 1990s for me to catch up some of these. I mean, Macarena, okay, that I understand. I mean, that's obviously a dance, not a phrase, but you know what I'm saying, right? Achy breaky heart. I'm just throwing out random phrases. Trash panda is not one of the things that I understood, so that was my silliness last night. So we watched last night's episode. The fallout from the nominations. We watched. It was a highly edited show, as they all are. We didn't see Chelsea talking to Leah before the power veto meeting the night before, with Leah, with her facing possible eviction and in theory saying things about Quinn. We didn't see. We saw a bit of what's her name sneaking around, Angela sneaking around and trying to eavesdrop. It was done the best they can do it. It wasn't 100% accurate, but they can never be 100% accurate to tell the story. They've only got a limited amount of time to do it. So they told their story to lead up to Angela getting saved with the power veto. We also saw, back to the power veto, the competition itself. They edited it in such, it's like, how are they going to do this? They edited it in such a way. What they did not show what I talked about, which is that Angela was up there with Tucker's chip, and MJ knew that she had the right chip and Angela had the wrong one, and they did paint a picture that everyone thought it was Tucker. And so, and to the show's credit, they did show us in a little bit more that MJ was much more assertive about how she knew she was right and everybody else was wrong. And I did not understand that Chelsea couldn't find a chip, so she got up there without a chip. And it kind of was strange. Well, obviously Chelsea thought that she was that Tucker was too. She just couldn't find Tucker's chip. I wonder if there was. They said they saw lots of Cedric chips, so I wonder if it was that there was only. I don't know. Was there only a very limited number? There had to be enough Tucker chips at some point, because Tucker was probably an answer to one of the questions that they never asked. Whatever. It was fine. They managed to lengthen the competition out on the show enough to get their money's worth maybe out of the set that they developed, but they did stretch it out much longer than it actually needed to be when you consider that it was only one round. So we saw the power veto competition. Yeah, that was it. We saw the HOH meeting. Actually, I don't know if I finished the show. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm thinking, I don't know if I saw the actual award of the power veto. I may have stopped watching before then. I was getting quite sidetracked as I was doing other things, and I was watching it in bits and pieces. So I don't think I watched, because I don't remember watching Angela's shock at getting saved by the power veto. So I may have to go back and try to watch the rest of that at some point. We'll see. Okay, that's it. Now I'm done. We're done talking. Quinn is getting evicted. I will talk to you again this afternoon. I will do a quick podcast, if nothing else, this afternoon to let you know if anything has changed in the way things are going to go. But I just don't see it happening. I don't see some crazy flip flop of the House and Quinn being saved. He said his goodbyes. He and Chemo had a tearful goodbye where they talked about how much they liked each other. And I don't see Quinn staying. I'd rather see Quinn stay, and it's no offense to Chemo, but it breaks up a stronger alliance, and it just keeps things a little more on even keel. I do think that this is going to. I really think we're going to have a 5, if not a 6, women final. I mean, Cam seems to be really working hard to be the last guy standing. I don't know if that gets you any kind of a win. It could come down to just being Cam and 2 women. I mean, that would, that's possible. Cam could be the Adam of Big Brother 26, because Adam was one of 5, one man with 5 women. So that's possible too. Okay, with that, I'm out of here because I keep dragging it out. You guys have a good Thursday, and we'll talk to you this afternoon. I would love to have some news of amazing things have happened, and oh my gosh, I think Quinn is going to stay, and we'll have to see what happens tonight on the show. That's hopeful. And the other thing, the last thing, cliffhanger on the power veto. I did watch it because they did a cliffhanger. That's right. I didn't see the reaction because they didn't show the reaction. Duh, Mike. I forgot. They left it hanging. That's how they're taking care of the BBAI arena. They aren't showing the actual power veto results so they can milk another 5 to 10 minutes out of the fallout from the power veto meeting. That's how they're managing to take care of the BBAI. Oh, God. I had that all in my brain. I was going to talk about that. So now we're done. We're done talking. I'll talk about it maybe this afternoon or not. But yes, the actual result of the power veto meeting was not shown. They left it hanging. And that's what they're going to do on tonight's episode in place of the AI arena. There we go. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have a live head of household competition tonight. I think they've sufficiently stretched out last night's episode so that they can overflow it into tonight's, and that's it. Now I'm done. Goodbye. Thanks for listening, everybody. Gosh, don't silly me. Bye.